Hope you've all enjoyed your morning. It's awesome to see all of you after working on all of the Hall of Fame material, to see all of you guys in person. I know I've talked to some of you via email and on the phone, so it's awesome to see all of you here this morning, and we're glad you could make it. My name is Alec Morgan, and I handle sports information and media here at UPIKE. I've worked the last few months on Hall of Fame material, and like I said, I've looked forward to meeting all of you, so this should be an exciting morning. And of course, we'll be honoring you guys at the football game as well this afternoon. Although the university and the community has continued to grow, I'm sure a lot of you guys will find several of the deep-rooted traditions and individuals remain, especially those of you who haven't been around in a while. I'd like to start out by introducing some of our guest speakers this morning. Up first will be Director of Athletics, Kelly Wells. Dr. Webb first. Excuse me. Just tricked you. Up first will be University President Dr. Webb. Dr. Webb has played a pivotal role in the growth of athletics at UPIKE, working tirelessly in support of our student athletes and coaches. Welcome to the stage, Dr. Webb.
Thanks, Alec. It was great to see that happen because you could see Kelly going, nope, that's not how it is. Well, on behalf of the university, it really is great to see you here, especially those of you who have not been here for a while. Welcome back. I think the campus has changed a little bit since some of you were here. Is that true? Yeah, absolutely. This building I know wasn't here, and then some of the other things that we're working on with the Sportplex and other athletic facilities that you can see over to the left there. There's some pictures of the facility we're working on up on Bear Mountain right now. I think will mean a bright future for athletics here at the University of Pikeville. But we're glad to see you. We're glad you're here. And I should pause and say, if you have a program, you'll notice that my name is not Lori Worth. Dr. Worth is here somewhere. Lori, where are you? There she is, back there. The University Provost, Dr. Lori Worth, is here with us today. But Kelly asked me to come and bring greetings since I was back in town. I've been on the road a lot in the last few weeks, and we'll head out again soon. But thank you so much for coming. Congratulations. We're very proud of your achievements, and we will see you again this afternoon at the football game. So congratulations. Very well done.
And at this time, our next speaker will be Director of Athletics, Kelly Wells. Many of you know Coach Wells. He's in his fourth year as the Director of Athletics, following a 14-year stint as head men's basketball coach. You might know he led the Bears to a national title, and now leads our department in a period of unprecedented growth. Ladies and gentlemen, Kelly Wells.
Thank you very much. What an awesome morning this is going to be. The sun's out. It's going to be a beautiful day. Lots of events today, but none more important than what we're doing today to celebrate our alums and celebrate our athletics here. But I would be remiss if I didn't really do a good shout out for Dr. Webb and Dr. Worth. What we do in athletics is important, but graduating students and growing the university is what we're all about. So if everybody could give Dr. Webb and Dr. Worth a big hand, that would be great. We don't want to reveal our sources, but a big thank you to our athletics committee who votes on all of this. And we spend countless hours reviewing worthy athletes and worthy people to be involved in our association. So hats off to you. I will not disclose your name, but certainly we thank you for all the work that you do along with our committee. Let's give them a big round of applause as well. A little housekeeping. When you come up, we'll do our awards through our videos. You'll get to see those, enjoy those. Once that video is completed, the awardee would please come up front. Mr. Epling will be taking pictures up front. I will be standing to the side with you presenting your plaque. We also have a great background for you set up for after the event for family pictures and photos of that nature. So just a little housekeeping to go on in front of that. During the football game today at 3 o'clock, between the first and second quarter, we'll also be honoring all of you. So please make your way. You're on the pass list. Make your way down there if you can. Meet us at the end zone between the first and second quarter, and we'll walk out at midfield and we'll wave and shake hands and kiss babies. And Larry will be there again taking your picture to honor you in front of our crowd. So we're excited. Don't want to take any more time up, but I'll send this over to Chris West, who will be praying for our event, and then we'll get started with Alec with the awards. Thank you.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Lord, thank you for these 14 individuals that were inducted into the Hall of Fame today. Lord, thank you for this University of Higher Learning. Lord, we just ask to use this university as a light to this community, to reach people. Lord, we just ask that just be with everybody here today, be with the families, Lord. Lord, we just ask that everything that we do today is pleasing in your sight. Lord, just bless this ceremony, Lord. Keep everybody safe. All this we ask in your son's precious name. Amen.
One more round of applause for our guest speakers this morning. So as Kelly kind of already alluded to, the Hall of Fame is an exclusive group, one that showcases teams and individuals who've had a significant impact not only on athletics, but on the university as a whole. This year's class includes 6 individuals and 1 team, nominated by their peers and voted on by our committee. This year, we did something a little different. We asked each individual to submit their speech via video. That way we could let them apply the best version of themselves. So we'll go ahead and get started. Our first inductee was a member of the 2002 men's tennis team and came to Eastern Kentucky from Columbia. He helped lead the team to the semifinals of the NAIA National Tournament and holds several accolades, including Mid-South Conference Player of the Year, Mid-South Conference First Team, All-MSC in singles and doubles, and was recognized as not only an NAIA, but an ITA All-American. Ladies and gentlemen, our first inductee is Mr. Eduardo Rincon.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here, and thank you to everybody who made this event possible today. Thank you, Mr. Wells. Thank you, Coach Kitchen, and thank you to all the Pikeville University administrators and professors and students who are here today. Very quickly, I want to share with you what this means to me. Being inducted into the Pikeville University Hall of Fame means the world. But most importantly, it's an opportunity for me to thank all who have made this possible. From the very beginning, Coach Kitchen has been a big part of my life as a mentor, as a coach, as a friend. My teammates, the ones who are here and the ones who are not, I love you guys. You are now family to me. You have been family for the better part of the last 20 years. I appreciate you so much. And even though we don't talk that often, I think about you and I remember everything that you taught me while we were together at Pikeville University. So want to share one quick story about my story and how I ended up at Pikeville University. So Coach Kitchen wanted to build a championship team. He had a really good vision, and I really wanted to be a part of it. There was one thing, though, that I was going to have to go to class. And really, before I came to Pikeville University, I never thought I would graduate from college. Graduating from college was way out of my sight. I never thought I could. But somehow, Coach always mentioned that to me. During the recruiting process, he mentioned graduating to me. That was really nice, but quite frankly, I never bought it. I never thought I was graduating material. Very slowly, though, he made me believe that I would graduate from college. My friends, teammates, and roommates started teaching me how to study, started tutoring me, and very often got me out of bed so I would go to class. As a result, I ended up enjoying going to class. I ended up enjoying learning. And I finally believed that I could graduate someday. So really, thank you to my coaches and teammates for installing that belief in me. Thanks to that, I've been fortunate enough to have a great career as a college coach myself. And I really hope to mentor kids the same way Coach Kitchen mentored me. Also want to say thank you to my wife, Rosemary, who was with me at the time I was at Pikeville University. She always believed in me. She has been with me all this time. We have moved a lot because of my career and all that. She's put up with me. And I just want to thank her and thank my daughters for being here. And I hope that today I can make them proud. Say thank you to my teammates, Sebastian, Renzo, Chiqui, Leo, Rodrigo, who didn't want to come for some reason. Just kidding. I know he's busy. But you guys, what I've learned from you in life is endless. I've learned discipline. I've learned commitment. I've learned sacrifice. And I've learned many other things that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. I hope to stay connected like we have been in the last 20 years. And I hope that we don't wait another 20 years to get together again as a group. Finally, I can mention at the beginning, thank you to Pikeville University administrators, Mr. President, Mr. Athletic Director, professors, students. You all make us so proud, and we want nothing else other than the best for everybody. Again, I am so honored and thankful to be here, thankful to have this amazing opportunity to express to you what this university, what this team, and what this opportunity means to me. Because of Pikeville College, that's what it used to be called, I am who I am today. And I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you so much. Love you guys. And go Bears.
Amazing. Eduardo, come on up. Awesome video. So as we've kind of already talked about, the early 2000 men's tennis program showcased some of the best talent in UPIKE tennis history, including our next inductee, who was a teammate alongside Eduardo. A member of the 2002 team, this individual partnered with Rincon in what became one of the top doubles duos in the country. A Mid-South Conference champion, an all-conference selection, and first-team All-American, ladies and gentlemen, Sebastian Contador.
Hi everyone. This is definitely not an easy video to record since I left the US like 14 years ago and I don't usually speak much English. I'm very thankful for this invitation. The induction to the Hall of Fame is something that I never dreamed of. For us, the Latin guys, it's not something very common, but I'm very pleased and thankful to have the chance to come to Pikeville after 20 or something years. I want to thank Coach Kitchen for the invitation and the whole tennis team for the opportunity to get me back here. I started playing tennis like when I was 7 years old, thanks to my grandfather. It's been a long, long journey. Now I barely play, but I just want to let you know that this is a wonderful invitation, and I will never forget it. I'll see you guys in a couple of days. Go Bears!
Sebastian, come on up. Congratulations, Sebastian Contador. The men's team was not the only team driving UPIKE tennis as one of the top contenders in the early 2000s. Our next inductee helped bring the women's program to the powerhouse status that it was, aiding the team to back-to-back Mid-South Conference championships and a 2002 run to the national championships. The only two-time Mid-South Conference Player of the Year in program history, a two-time All-Conference selection, NAI, and an NAI All-American, watching today from Finland, Ms. Suhil Lizana.
Hi, this is Suheli Sana. Greetings from Finland. Unfortunately, I cannot make it to this ceremony, but I would like to be present in this way, and I would like to thank you, all the ones that nominated me for this honor. I would like to thank you. Pikeville has been in my heart and will always be in my heart as the first place who gave me the opportunity to go to US and study and keep playing the sport that I have loved since so little. I would like to especially thank Rodrigo Puebla and John Kitchen for giving me the opportunity to go to Pikeville and study and play, and for just making this whole time a really good time in US. So thank you for that and for being there for us. I would also like to thank my teammates and my friends for making this time so much more special, and for just all the good times that we had on and off the court. Thank you. And last but not least, I would like to thank my parents for letting me start this journey, which it was scary at the time. I know for them as well as me, and I know it made them sad to let me go so far, but they still let me try, and I would like to thank them for that opportunity and for believing in me. There is so many memories that I have from Pikeville, but I was trying to think about some funny ones, and the first one that came to my mind was actually the first day I made it to US, and Rodrigo and John went to pick me up from the airport, and I was so excited, of course, to see them and to make it there. And I knew already that Rodrigo was Chilean as well as me, and as naturally as it comes in our culture, I went to say hi to Rodrigo and I gave him a kiss on the cheek like we normally do, and I did the same to John. And that was then, but then afterwards I heard that you actually don't do that in US, that you don't kiss on the cheek to strangers. So I learned after that I was not supposed to maybe be doing that, but it was a little bit embarrassed at the moment, and probably John a little bit surprised at the airport when I just went up and kissed him in the cheek when I first met him. But all good, and it was funny, so
Suhail, if you're watching, congratulations. Thank you for your video and thank you for that awesome story. Really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Suhail Lozano. I'm sure we are all familiar with the historic success the men's basketball program has achieved in the last decade or so. In that span, several student athletes have made their mark, including our next inductee. As Coach Wells would agree, there's no better time to get a hot hand shooting the basketball than in the national tournament. And this individual caught fire. After not receiving an all-conference nod, he played what Coach Wells calls the best week of basketball he'd ever seen. This streak resulted in 108 points, 49 rebounds, 18 three-pointers, and of course, a national championship, in which he was named Most Valuable Player. In 3 seasons, he totaled 1,812 points, currently at 8th on the all-time scoring list, introducing 2-time All-American and national champion, Mr. Trevor Setti.
When Coach Wells reached out to me, he had a surprise to tell me or whatever about getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. It kind of caught me off guard, not for the fact that I didn't believe I was worthy. I just I don't know. I was just very humbled, and it hit me pretty hard. I became pretty emotional, and since I found out, I've just done nothing but reflecting upon my time in Pikeville and all the accomplishments and great memories and people that I met. So I just want to now go on a little thank you spree. So I first want to start with my parents. Growing up, we didn't have much, but we maximized everything, and I never felt like I needed anything. And they, did every possible thing you could do for someone who wants to follow their dream. Since I was a kid, I could never remember a time where I wasn't allowed to play. I wasn't allowed to entertain and enjoy myself, and which led to me, developing the personality that I have and the love for the game of basketball. So we always had this little Texas goal in our house and just would play nonstop all the time. And then when I was old enough to start playing and traveling, it seemed like that's all we ever did. We didn't have family vacations. We had basketball trips, and that just led to one thing that led to another. And when I was going to my 7th grade, we picked up and moved to Maysville, Kentucky, in Mason County, because I wanted to do that. I wanted to be there with my teammates, and I wanted to do that. And we ended up winning a state championship with that group. So, to my parents, their love and just their overall just desire to make things happen for me and my brother really this would never have been obviously possible if it weren't for them in that manner. To like my dad, who just worked not and still to this day does nonstop, one of the hardest working people I've ever met, and would give anything and everything that he has in order to support me or my brother or anybody in his family. The amount of miles he's driven to be able to see me play. The national championship game, my dad rented a car and drove straight to Kansas City for the game, and then drove straight back afterwards and immediately went back to work. So it's just an animal. And all the games that he showed up to, when logistically it was a mess, and he'd bring friends. And just to hear his voice. There's a story where he literally walked into St. Catherine's gym, yelled at the referee, and got ejected. He was there for like 5 minutes. So he drove all the way out there. And I just, I don't know, that's just him. And I always fed off that, and his energy and passion has always inspired me. And for him, I'm eternally grateful. And I love him with all my heart. And to my mom, we grew up together, basically. She was young when she had me, and all those trips on the weekends for basketball was her doing. She was a small town girl who was afraid to drive outside, 30-minute radius. And then there we are after, sucking it up and having to drive all over the Kentucky and Ohio. And, I couldn't have done it without her. She, was taking college classes and becoming a teacher while driving me and my brother every weekend somewhere to play ball. And then her commitment when I was in Pikeville to show up to games, and go back and have to teach in the morning, 3.5 hour drive there, 3.5 hour drive back. And she made it to countless games. And, it was always a blessing to see her. And she's the main reason why I even ended up in Pikeville. So without her messaging Coach Wells and saying, you got to get this boy out of here, he's got to go to Pikeville, I wouldn't have done it. Because in the summer of 2009, there was a whole slew of places I could have ended up, but I had no heart to do anything. I didn't know what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go, and any place I really wanted to go didn't want me. And Coach Wells and his persistence of trying to recruit me for years, and me turning him down and not wanting anything to do with coming to Pikeville. And I wasn't anything to do with Pikeville or anybody there. That was just not my goal. My goal, I wanted to go to a big time Division I school. And I didn't want to be a walk-on. I wanted a scholarship, and it never came. And it was disheartening. And Coach Wells was persistent, and he wanted me. And I ended up my first semester walking on at Pike. So after all that time and turning down, I was on the phone with Bob Huggins for 30 minutes and said, I do not want to be a walk-on. I'm a scholarship player. The dumbest thing, in my head, and looking back, it was silly, but oh well. I want to thank my grandparents for all their constant support. My late grandfather, my pappy, Gary, he was very supportive of me and coming to games, and him and his family making that happen. He would be very happy to see this for me. And my papa Wayne, he actually helped me afford to be able to pay for that. There was a time where I had to come up with a bill real quick to be able to play my first game in Pikeville, and he was the one who helped me support that. And he's been completely supportive, and he has always been there for me. He's just a big part of my heart, and I'm very thankful for my papa and all the other various family members. There's so many to name; it's hard to, but I had so much support when I was at Pikeville and people showing up. It was a very amazing thing. And I want to thank Coach Wells. He to me was like, I don't know, the Mecca, growing up in Mason County, the N2 hoop, T-shirts everywhere. Coach Kelly Wells this, Coach Kelly Wells that. He was immortal almost. And the very fact that I was so excited to be able to come and play for him in high school, and he ended up leaving before I was ever having the chance to do that. And for him to, for us to do what we did together was, I don't know, a very special, remarkable thing. I couldn't imagine it being with anybody else, and he, means so much to me. It was very influential. And he was very hard on me at times, but he was also very kind and understanding. And and the one thing about Coach Wells is he always believed in me as a player more than anything. He always understood, and he put up with a lot from me. But he always knew that he just trusted me out there. And even if I were to mess up or if I were to fall short of things, he always gave me another chance to win it back. And I always appreciated that from him. And it was just an absolute honor to be able to have played college basketball for Coach Kelly Wells. And also, I just want to shout out to all my other coaches that I had there: Matt Hurt, Brian Cloman, Ty Compton, Brett Rector, Donald Thomas, Nick Bowman, Matt Taylor, Matt Bringman, John Byrie. I mean, they're all there and all very special to me in their own different ways. And I miss those interactions and relationships. And all 75 of my teammates that I had over 4 years, it was kind of like a rotating cast of characters. And there's only I think maybe the most consistent couple, there were, I mean, I guess I have to say, Chris Puckett, Kyan Hines, Josh Whitaker. They were, I think I played with the longest. I think got 3 years apiece with all of them. I don't think I'm missing anybody when it comes to the longevity, but everybody, they all know who they are. And, I obviously couldn't have done anything without my teammates, and winning that national championship was like one of the most special moments of all time. And he and they, and it's just something that I'll never eclipse, just a moment in time that just is very fairy tale like. It came out of nowhere really, but we believed in each other. And I don't know, just a very magical thing for it to have happened. And I'm very blessed to have been a major part of it. And yeah, it's shaped my life up to that point. So, and I just want to thank, the school, university, for being my home for, 4 years. It was very hard to leave. It hurt a lot missing the mountains. When I first went, I never wanted to go. It wasn't my choice. It chose me. And I never wanted to leave after I had been there. And I spent countless amount of times there. I spent summers there. I never wanted to go anywhere. I loved the mountains, and every time I left, I wanted to come right back. And very grateful for the city of Pikeville, very grateful for the university and everyone there. And it's just a very hardworking, blue collar, downtrodden area that deserves more respect. And I am very appreciative of the kind working class people there. And they hold a very large part of my heart and everything that shaped me after that. And so, yeah, I'm very grateful, eternally grateful, and very proud for, just being able to have this honor. And it's bigger than me. And I just very, very thankful and very grateful, honored. So thank you.
Hold up, Trevor. So funny story about that. Him and I actually had to record his speech on Zoom because Trevor needed to make it perfect. So, and it's, I don't know if it was the frame rates or whatever, but I think his voice got ahead of his talking on that. But I learned so much about Trevor in that 15 minutes or so. So I appreciate you doing that. Congratulations, Trevor Setti. When I came to UPIKE, I had experience covering almost every sport, and I felt fairly confident in my ability to do so. Coming in, I knew the UPIKE bowling program was good, but in the last 2 years, I've come to understand that was an understatement. One of our next inductee is a product of that storied program, aiding the Bears in 3 Mid-South Conference titles and 3 NAI invitationals. It was apparent from his first season that he would be a great, earning Mid-South Conference Freshman of the Year. He would go on to claim all conference accolades in 4 consecutive seasons, collecting 2 NAI All-American nods, and is currently at 3rd all-time in the program's history in pins per game. Ladies and gentlemen, Zachary Filing.
First off, I'd like to thank whomever it was that nominated me for the UPIKE Hall of Fame. This is an accomplishment that I never thought I would actually be able to achieve. Secondly, I'd like to thank my parents for enrolling me in the sport of bowling, because had it not been for them, I wouldn't be where I am today and receiving this award. I would also like to thank my high school coaches for giving me a lot of the knowledge that I possess today and continuing my growth for competitive bowling. And then I would also like to thank Coach Wilson, for it had not been for him and giving me the opportunity to attend UPIKE, I would not be receiving this award today. And then I would also like to thank my beautiful wife for always showing me support through college, even though at the time we were simply dating, but we dated throughout the entire time, and she always showed support as we were away traveling at various different tournaments throughout the entire season. Although throughout the years of competitively bowling in college, we had many good times, many laughs, many funny incidences. Anything that ranged from literally hitting traffic in Atlanta while traveling to a tournament, or while bowling in a tournament that was relatively challenging, and having the jokes be cracked about the team finding their anchor at the nearest boat store because they need a new one, which turned into an ongoing joke throughout the remainder of that season. One of my most fond memories was when we managed to shoot a Baker 300 game at the NAIA National Championships during the qualifying rounds. And for those that don't understand what a Baker game is, it's 5 individual people throwing 2 frames within a single game. So we managed to shoot a 300 game during our qualifying rounds at the NAIA. And the memorable thing about it was the fact that I was bowling in the anchor position, so we were bowling the 5th and 10th frames. So I was the player that had to throw all 3 strikes in the 10th to finalize the 300 game. And throughout our qualifying, I had tried to complete this, I'd say 3 or 4 times before I finally did. So it was one of those, gave it a run several different times. And when it was finally completed, everyone was giving me a hard time that, hey, finally threw 3 in a row. And it was just one of those things that you'll always remember, because although 300s get shot in bowling frequently, it's few and far between that you actually hear about teams accomplishing Baker 300s, because they're much more rare due to the fact that it is 5 people bowling a single game. And that is probably one of my most unique situations or memories from bowling collegiately.
Welcome up front, Zach. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Zachary Filing. Sports medicine plays one of the most important roles in the success of a student athlete, and at UPIKE, our athletic training staff are some of the hardest working people you will find. Our next inductee laid the groundwork for the program in a period of growth that included 5 new programs in his first year on the job. Armed with a vision and a team of student workers, our next inductee embodied the passion and work ethic it takes to care for student athletes. Ladies and gentlemen, Yul Vernon.
Hey guys, Yul Vernon, and what a tremendous honor to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, something I did not think that I would ever accomplish as an athletic trainer. We are sort of behind the scenes kind of people, and athletic trainers are there to help our athletes, to be assistants to our coaches, taking care of those sports medicine needs, trying to keep those athletes on the fields of play, the courts of play, and it's a tremendous honor that I've been inducted. And I think when I look at this honor that's bestowed upon me, there's no possible way that I could have achieved this without lots of individuals who poured into me at Pikeville College. But right off the top, there's 4 individuals that come to mind. These were my student athletic trainers, and I'll start with the first one that came to me, is a lady named Bambi Lucas. And I don't know if she's able to come here tonight. All of them have been invited because, again, I feel humbled to know that I'm being inducted, but without these folks, I don't think I would have had this honor. And the first one was Bambi Lucas. She came in as a student athletic trainer my first year. She had just come from the University of Kentucky, and she actually, I think, did some stuff there at UK, and she came back home, and what a blessing that was to me, because she came in and right off the bat began to help me. A lot of the preparation, getting ready for the games. She learned how to tape and how to do a lot of the treatments, and she really not only became an amazing helper for me in the training room, but she became one of my friends, and she was a huge support to me. And I could not have done those. I couldn't done the entire time I was there without my student athletic trainers. But Bambi sort of spearheaded that for me. And then after her came 3 students, and I think the one that was amazing was Kim Campbell. Kim came in, and I think Kim actually even stayed after I left, and was a big help to the next athletic trainer that came in. And Kim was just amazing. I mean, her and Bambi together just sort of, it was wonderful. The 2 of them were there in the training room with me each evening. Most games they were there, and they were just huge in the success that we had in the sports medicine department. And in addition to that, I had 2 other student athletic trainers, which was Melissa Osborne and Lindsay Madden. And I know all of their names have changed. I'm so proud of them, the things that they have accomplished. Sometimes I feel humbled knowing how awesome it was to be with those students and see them grow and then see where they've been. But, it was a huge honor that I got inducted. And, first off, I don't think I would be where I'm at today, being inducted into the Hall of Fame, if it wasn't for those 4 people. I guess in addition to those student athletic trainers, there were so many that poured into me as a person and as an athletic trainer. And I know if I begin to thank people, there's somebody that I'm going to leave out, because I could literally talk for hours. But there's a few that come to mind immediately. First of all, the guy who called me, I'll call him the gentleman, and Bill, if you're there, I know you're laughing right now. But the gentleman that called me and told me that I was inducted into the Hall of Fame was Rick Bentley. And I want to say thanks to him. He was a huge help to me when I began there at Pikeville College. He not only showed me the ropes of how to integrate into the college, but also how to integrate into Pikeville. He introduced me. I think everybody in Pikeville probably knows Rick Bentley. But man, he was awesome to not only me, to my wife. He gave my wife an opportunity to work in sports information with her, which let me see her son. My wife and I had just gotten married right before we moved to Pikeville, which we packed everything up, moved to this town where we didn't know anybody. And man, I tell you, it was awesome to have Rick Bentley that not only became a co-worker, but he became a friend. And in addition to that, I do have to thank my wife. She did. She was willing to follow me, to pursue my career. I was young. I was a young athletic trainer, and this was a great opportunity for me. Head athletic trainer for Pikeville College, and I was so proud of that. I still am to this day. I am proud to say that I worked for Pikeville College. But my wife was so gracious and so willing and patient. There was a lot of long nights, weeks at a time sometimes, that I was gone. Thanks to some successful coaches, we won some games. We won some big games, and sometimes that took me out of town. And I appreciate her that she was so willing. And then again, as you can see, I'm building into this, is that we had some phenomenal coaches that I worked with. Randy McCoy, I appreciate him so much. He helped me grow as an athletic trainer. Bill Watson, Bill Watson, Robert Staggs, Rick Bentley. There's a lot of meals at El Azul Make You Drool Grande. I don't even know if that's still in Pikeville, but it was the best Mexican that I've still to this day made. And we would eat lunch together. We'd sometimes even have dinner together. Go to Kansas City together. And man, I tell you what, it was awesome working for them. Robert Staggs, Bill Watson, Randy McCoy, Johnny LeMaster. What a man. I'm telling you, he's a wonderful man and had a huge influence on my life. John Kitchen, man, he was my idol. I looked at John Kitchen. I wanted those great big muscles and that pretty face. And, John Kitchen, everybody wanted to be like John Kitchen. And I know some of you are laughing right now. But I'm serious. He was my idol. I love John Kitchen. Man, I tell you, I'm leaving some people out. Missy Gregg, her and her Jeep. There's lots of wonderful memories of us going out to lunch with her, and she'd always say, "My gas tank is empty." What a wonderful memory. And then going on games with her. So it was awesome being able to spend some time with those coaches. And there's so many others that I could think, and I'm sorry if I'm leaving someone out. When Rick Bentley called me and told me that I was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, I think at that moment, I began to think back of all of the time that I spent not only at Pikeville College, but there in Pikeville. And I have so many amazing memories. And especially, I think the thing that comes to the top, the memories that are the most special, are those of going to those championships. And we had a lot, a lot of championship games with conference tournaments, great games. Even when we didn't win, I felt like Pikeville was always wonderful athletes, great coaches. And some of those is our travels to Tulsa and Kansas City. I know that there were some long trips. A lot of times we didn't fly all the time. We very, very rare. I don't think I can remember, maybe once, maybe twice while I was in Kentucky, that we flew to anywhere. Most of the time we were traveling either in car or even better, probably the best memory is on Ed. And some of you out there right now can remember Ed. And I will tell you one funny thing. I don't remember where we were going, but we were getting ready to leave. And Ed, we usually kept him under a shelter. That was our bus, for those who don't know what I'm talking about. And most of the time we kept it under a shelter. But this particular time, I guess we hadn't. It had become, it had been raining for a couple days. And I remember Randy McCoy standing at the front of the bus, and we were getting ready to take off. And of course, he was saying something to the guys that was in the back, probably telling them to sit down and quieten down. And as Ed started to roll out of the parking lot, all of this water just comes pouring down on his head. And of course, we didn't know to laugh because, we didn't want to make Randy mad. We were getting ready to play a game, and the last thing we wanted to do is have Randy McCoy mad, even before we made it to the place we were going to play. But I think back to that, and I use that as a funny moment. But the trips were always awesome. I remember one distinct time riding, and I thought to myself, this is the best life. I'm able to travel to these games, watch these athletes perform, watch these coaches do what they do best, and be right there, the best seat in the house. The athletic trainer truly does have the best seat. I'm right there on the sidelines watching the action. And, you take those moments for granted, I'm afraid, sometimes. But it was awesome. The question was, do I remember any funny moments? And, there was a lot of funny moments. It was just fun in general. When I was with those teams, it was like I was with my family. And again, I've already said, they always included Melissa in a lot of that. So it was a lot of times that we were just going out and having a good time. We were serious, but it was just awesome. I want to wrap up my comments by saying what an honor it is to be inducted. And again, I want to say one more time that there are so many people I appreciate out there. And if I've left you out, I didn't mean to. I mean, there's a flood of thoughts that's going through my head. I've wrote pages and pages and pages. And I just thank each of you for giving me this opportunity. Thanks a bunch. And hey, come talk to me after all this is done.
Congratulations, Yul Vernon. Our final induction into the 2022-23 Hall of Fame has been well represented this morning. The 2002 men's tennis team is one of the most decorated in school history, going 23-1 in the regular season, and the pretty face of John Kitchen leading the charge. They claimed the Mid-South Conference Championship and advanced to the national semifinals, led by Hall of Fame coaches John Kitchen and Rodrigo Puebla. The Bears boasted 7 all-conference selections, the Mid-South Conference Coach of the Year, 2 NAI All-Americans, and the team featured 7 athletes. They are Eduardo Rincon, Sebastian Contador, Christian Lopez, Leo Lopez, Renzo Lopez, Romano Frenson. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2002 men's tennis team.
Hey guys, hey everybody, John Kitchen. Really happy to be here with you today. I just want to say a few short words about this whole tennis program and tennis team that's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame today, a couple of the players, and just really want to thank everybody. Thank everybody that made, Pikeville College possible for me. It all started in 1992, Knott County Central, and I had enough good players around me that I got an offer to come play basketball at Pikeville College, and graduated Pikeville College in '96 and was blessed to play with some great players, some great teams, and inducted into the Hall of Fame as a basketball player and as a tennis player, as an individual. But today is very special to me, knowing that where it all started and where it all finished and where it all came to today, and the guys and gals that you're going to meet today through this process. Just what wonderful people, how lucky that we're all still friends and we're all still together. So it's more than just the championships and the tennis that we won. It was the camaraderie and the friendship that we all, the Pikeville, University of Pikeville, UPIKE, gave us all. So, I left Pikeville for a couple of years and went and did a few other things, continued to try to play a little basketball, and took a shot at law school and all that good stuff. Ended up back, Roy Cutright. Got to start with Coach Cutright. Roy Cutright asked me to come back where I needed to be, and that was coaching, being the head assistant coach for the men's basketball program, and I jumped on that and came back to Pikeville. when I got back here, I'd have to thank, next in line would be Ron Dameron, right? Met with Ron and said, "Hey, Ron, let me start the tennis team back up. I played here, and I think I can have a pretty good team." I remember Ron asking me what I needed, and I said, "Hey, I need a bunch of scholarships, right?" That's what we all say as coaches. But Ron said, "All right, whatever you need, let's see what you can do." And so thank Ron Dameron, President Owens, and President Smith, and through the whole athletic program with Coach Watson and Robert Staggs, who I know you guys all still lucky to have around here today, and it just Rick Bentley. I gotta say, hey, shout out to Rick Bentley. His name's going to come up later in the story. So, but we just had a great group of people, as UPIKE always has, and now today you continue that tradition with Coach Wells, Kelly Wells been here, and Todd Compton, and all the great coaches and players that's come through in the last 20 years. It's hard to believe we're talking about this team. I was a tennis coach from 98 to 2000, 2001, 2002, and it's just hard to believe it's been that long. But I just want to say thank you to everyone, and I'm blessed to be a part of the tradition at the University of Pikeville. And these guys, this team that you chose to induct into the Hall of Fame, thank you, Hall of Fame committee, is something special. And I think one of the most special teams that's probably ever been on the campus. So thanks again. All right, now we'll just talk about a little bit about how the program got to where it did. That first year, the goal was to have a team, right? So I had to start scrapping around, and I knew a bunch of local guys, guys that played high school tennis and that went on to different colleges. Got to thank Jesse Rudd, who transferred back from Kentucky. My biggest recruit ever, if you ask my mom and dad, right? My brother Todd wouldn't have been able to do the things he did without him. Ended up being at one time probably the best player that ever played at Pikeville College. Jesse's in the Hall of Fame. Todd's in the Hall of Fame. Very well deserved. And those guys helped start it. You had Chad Sellers, Clay Boone. Just so many guys that just helped drive to start the program to get us to where we ended up in this 2001 team. So we won the conference, won the region, and I knew after that we had to get better, right? We had to continue to build the program, and we did. I went out and started recruiting very hard with some junior colleges, and I got lucky and found Rodrigo Puebla, and who ended up being one of my best friends and assistant coach and the women's coach here. Went on and still coaching tennis today. And at that point, him and Hunter Dorr transferred in and improved our chances. And Leonardo Lopez came, and Leo, funny story there, he had it down between Pikeville College and American University, which is in Washington, D.C. And I remember telling Leo, I said, "Hey, Pikeville's the capital as well, right? Pikeville's the capital of Pike County. Washington, D.C. is the capital of something." I can't remember what I told him, but anyway, he chose Pikeville, so I'm glad he did, and was a big part of our success and went on to do great things. And then, the team that it built up to the team we're talking about today, and you get lucky, and I had David Martin that came in the first semester of that year from France and actually won the national championship as an individual. The Rolex, that was an individual tournament the first semester, and he won the region and then went on to the national tournament. We went down to Texas, and he actually won the NAIA, the national championship, which was an unbelievable feat for Pikeville College. And then he decided he was going to go home at Christmas, and he did, and he calls me and says he's not coming back. He was getting married, and so I had some scholarship money available for that next semester, and somehow, some way, the love of God and all the prayers of the tennis gods, ended up with Raul Valdez and Eduardo Rincon, Sebastian Contador. Eduardo and Sebastian are both going in the Hall of Fame as individuals, and so well deserved, and want to congratulate them and their families. I've stayed friends with these guys, for 20 plus years, and they went on and done great things. This whole team, everybody on this team has got their own story. They've all went and done great things, and a lot of them stuck with tennis. They've been doing tennis since, and it's unbelievable. And then we got lucky with Cheeky Lopez, got him down at Shorter, and he came to Pikeville. And then we had Renzo Lopez that came from over LMU. And then we had a guy from Holland named Romano Franzen. Romano, I don't think can be here, but he was a huge part of that year on that team. So that year, that team was I don't think people understand how good. We're talking about Davis Cup players and junior national champions and players ranked in the world in the professional tennis. These guys were professionals, right? Way better than I ever thought about being, or most of the guys that ever played at Pikeville College thought about being. These guys were the best of the best, and we had them all here at Pikeville. The same year that we went on this run and finished number 2 in the country, University of Kentucky was number 4 in the country, and they wouldn't play us. I begged Coach Emery there at UK to play us, and he told me, "No way." He said, "You've got guys that I'm not playing, right? No, I'm not taking that chance." But was a fun year. We had a great time. Like I said, we dominated, went all the way through the conference, the region, the national tournament, and got to where we wanted to be. We played Oklahoma City early in the year, the defending national champs, and we beat them 5-0, and we knew we were better than them. And we get in the national tournament, and we go down to the wire in the semifinals, and we didn't get all the way where we wanted to get. We didn't get to the national championship, but we ended up finishing ranked number 2 that year. Oklahoma City, that team actually got disqualified for the year. They played an ineligible player. We knew he was ineligible because he'd already been to Pikeville College, and I'd kicked him off the team and told him to go somewhere else, and he went to Oklahoma City, but he shouldn't have been eligible. So anyways, that's just a little small tidbit of story there. The guys will appreciate that. But anyway, these guys have got their own story, and I hope you get to talk to them all. And I just want to say thanks again. And the things we did, looking back, unbelievable. The quality of people these guys were, the level of tennis that was played right out here at little UPIKE, it's amazing. And they made us famous for a while. People still talk about the tennis team at Pikeville College, and these 98 to 2000, 2001, 2002, it was a phenomenal run, and this team culminated it with, in my eyes, been the best, if not the best team that I was ever part of, and maybe ever stepped foot on campus. I know we had some national champs with Coach Wells and the basketball team, and I was part of the 2001-2 Final Four team basketball. Some great teams here at UPIKE, and just to be in that mention in that conversation is super humbling and super exciting. So I hope that's enough. Like I said, I want to say thank you to everybody as a part of this, and once a Bear, always a Bear, and I really appreciate it. So go Bears.
I'd like to welcome all these guys up here. Come on up. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2002 men's tennis team. Just want to shout out to Coach Kitchen and all these guys for bringing in their beautiful families. It's so awesome to see all of you. Thanks for joining us today. I think, real quick, last note, and if you're watching, I left one name off the list. That was Raul Valdez, who was also a very important part of that team when I was doing my original read. So thank you to all those guys once again. It is awesome to see you all, and thank you all for joining us today. Once again, we will honor all of our inductees at the football game today between the first and second quarter, and also volleyball going on at 1 o'clock, so if you want to come down to the UPIKE gym and check that out. One more round of applause for all of our inductees.